Alright, this pile of hay is going to go in this thing and make a hay bale. Now normally, of course, when you're mowing hay, you would have this stuff arranged in windrows in the field, but it's hard for me to video and talk about the functions of the baler while walking across the field. So I just put this hay in a pile, and we'll just feed it in there manually with a fork. First, I'm going to go ahead and lower the baling mouth down, which is done through this control up here. Fold back is just to transport the machine from place to place. You don't want to be dragging the teeth on the ground. So anytime you're baling, you're going to want to drop that down to pick the hay up off the ground. What we're looking for here is the rotation of this knob. When that rotates pretty continually, that means there's enough pressure in the bale chamber that the bale is full and it's ready to net rack. As you can see, it's been rotating for a while. It hits and misses a little bit, but that's enough to net rack. So, go ahead and hit my activation cycle here. I'm not going to hold the roll of net wrap back because I want it to actually net wrap now. You can watch the timing mechanisms work on this thing if you come in and watch the various functions that we watched before and how they spit out the finished bale. It's absolutely critical when using the baler that when you are engaging the net wrapping cycle, whether you're doing it manually on the front or moving that same lever through this lever on the back here, which moves that lever, this is the lever on the steering bar, that when you engage the net wrapping cycle, you squeeze it, hold it for the count of 2, and release it on 3. If you don't hold it for approximately that length of time, you'll get into trouble. And what the first thing that can happen is if you squeeze it for too little a time, just say squeeze and release, maybe after a half a second or a second, what'll happen is the net wrap will engage, that is, the rollers will engage, it'll start pulling down the net wrap, but the rest of the cycle does not engage. So you don't have any cutting cycle, you don't have any bale door eject cycle. The thing will just sit there and wrap an entire roll of net wrap onto one bale, which gets a little expensive, let me tell you, at $71 a roll. So what you want to do is obviously squeeze it for the correct length of time. Now if you squeeze it too long, if you fall asleep up there while you're holding the lever in and you 4 or 5 seconds, what'll happen is, yes, it'll go through that first net wrapping cycle fine. It'll engage everything, it'll spit out the finished bale, but you've held it so long you've actually engaged the cycle for a second time. So you start baling your next bale of hay and it starts pulling down net wrap immediately, which is a disaster because that hay incoming into the mouth comes right across the net wrap, tangles it down into the pickup wheels, and it's just a mess. So squeeze 1, 2, 3. You let it go on 3. Whether you're doing it up here or back there, that length of time, anywhere from, say 1 3/4 to 3 seconds is kind of the window you're looking for there. One point I missed earlier is when you've got this bale, the baler cover off, it's also a good idea to shoot a little lube right there. That's where all this friction happens on that timing mechanism there. You give that a shot of lube every now and then.